Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I want to thank the steering committee for setting up the career development system. One time as a lecturer, and someone said, but why don't you apply for promotion? The truth is I had no idea how to apply for promotion. Then I saw a newspaper article. I don't know whether the newspaper was New Vision or an earlier one, way back in the 90s. And this article, it was a Sunday Vision article, it showed the system for career advancement at Makerere. I kept that newspaper article, and that was my paper, my reference article for promotion in the early days. I had no idea. Where to find the documents. And as Dr. Nachimli has said, we all take things for granted. We assume everybody knows what to do and where to get it from. When you ask, where do I get this? I say, oh, go to the intranet. I'm one of those who needs training on how to navigate the Makerere intranet. You can't find things when you need them. I don't know how to find things there. It's a bit of a complicated system. When Damari first came to me and talked about mentorship and career development, my first question is, you are doing A and you are doing B. Are you going to do C again? But I'm proud to say that she has done A successfully, she's doing B very well, and she's also done C very well. Nakanjako used to please me in some years gone by. I would be there and she would send me an SMS. Dr. Mayanja, I've got another grandson, and I say good. Dr. Mayanja, now it's a granddaughter, and I would say good. So I liked the way she balanced her life, looking at various aspects. Then one day I came to her and said that, by the way, you are doing well, what about other people? And there are people I handed to her, there's someone else whom I don't see here, whom I handed to her, that you can't run alone. Otherwise, one day you'll get there, and there's no one else in the world except you. And I know there's someone in another department whom she's working with. I know they have published one paper together, and I know they are working on more papers. Because I feel to be successful, you need to live, you need to be like a snail. A snail leaves a trail where it passes. And success is the trail you have left, not where the snake has got to, as a snail. Because if you look at a snail, it leaves a trail. At the end, when you look for the snake, it's dried out, but the trail is still there. So sometimes we need to be like snails. Leave a trail, otherwise one day you reach the end, you are dried out, a little shriveled snail, and nobody knows where you have passed. And I'm happy to say that people have done that. Sometimes people ask, who is a mentor? And in my opinion, everybody is a mentor. Who needs to be mentored? Everybody needs to be mentored. Even fifth-year medical students should mentor their third-year colleagues. Even third-year inmates should mentor first-year inmates. We all need mentors. I've had mentors. One of my mentors, last year, he was pushing me left, right, and said, Harriet, you can do it. Move on, you can do it. Sometimes I would say, I'm not ready. He says, no, you are ready, you can do it. So we need mentors to encourage us. I have a colleague here whom I thought had no mentor, and I took it upon myself to mentor him. And I didn't tell him I'm going to be your mentor, but I took it upon myself that I must take him up and mentor him and show him the direction to move. And I'll continue mentoring him with or without his permission. Now, you have been told that a career path should be planned. Yes, that is true, but it should not be over-planned, because a career path should be like a tree. When you plant a tree, you know it will grow up, but as it grows, branches start spreading out. Some spread this way, some spread different ways. The ashok tree, they spread down, but each tree is successful, whichever direction it grows. The musizi tree has hands which spread up. Every tree is successful. So growth is like that. Initially you plan, but over time you must be open to various directions. What are the issues one needs to plan? Number one, academics. Be trained, get trained, okay? And always look at your training. Do I now need to go and do a Master of Business Administration? Do I need to go and do a diploma in project management? Do I need to go and do a certificate in counseling? So always look at your needs and be willing to change. There was a professor from San Francisco, Ziegler. He was an expert in cancer research a long time ago. And when he retired, he went on to do an MPH. And I met him one time, I think in San Francisco. He had moved on because he realized he needed that training. Another person said, you know, I never learned how to swim. And at the age of 50-something, that person learned how to swim because she said, my dream was always to learn how to swim. I taught my children, I didn't learn how to swim. Next is service. Professor Tumwine has talked about service. And sometimes academicians, we think, to be a good academician, you must have a lot of papers and an international name and links and collaborations. And the patient is a little below you. But members, remember, we are here to serve each other. The traffic policeman, early morning at 6, yesterday they were even earlier than 6. They irritated me because they closed the roads even before 6, and I thought I would beat them to it, but they did not. They're already there. So they serve. Okay. Yes, they may sometimes be hard and strict and bring handcuffs, but at the end of the day, they are there to serve us. The taxi association, you told them, the first service I saw is when they noticed that taxis were knocking down children. Taxis were knocking down children, and there are a number of incidents. And they formed a group. Early morning, they would be at crossings where children are stopping us before the traffic cops took over the job. But they were doing their service. Yet they're out there to get money. Their job is to make money. And they are private people. But they realized these young boys and girls are being knocked down, so they went out to serve. So let's always remember service to each other. Service to the patients. When I was working in Mulago, I didn't enjoy working on the 6th floor because I thought those patients have everything. But you go down to the 2nd floor, 100 patients, and you realize these people need me. They haven't asked me, but they need me. So sometimes think about people who need you, people who are not like you. I remember the days when we were still students. I used to walk. Half the time the sole would come off the shoe. I knew every cobbler along the trail from Mulago to the SHO village, because as soon as the heel broke off, I would stop at my friendly cobbler who would glue it on again, and I would continue. And I realized that at that time, you look at people with cars, sometimes you are walking, and you realize you want to be like them. So even your patients, when you see them in hospital beds, they want to be like you. They want to be healthy. A person will say, but I can't walk, and yet look at that woman. She's a beggar, and she's much healthier than me. So do realize that the people depend on us, and health is the greatest gift one can have. You can be poor, you may have, but health comes first. So serve the community. And sometimes you go to church, and before you finish, there's a line of people, each one with a complaint. Last week we had the Mothers Union meeting. At the end, one lady had a problem, the other lady had another, and they're all waiting for me. And yet, someone was waiting for me to take me home. But I had to stop, wait, and handle their issues. It's easier to sit there bothering me, but God put you there to serve, so don't forget. Serve the family. Many of you go to the village, and we used to travel around to the village to do a study on EMF with Professor Frias. He would take his car, would take the echo machine, and would take a generator and would go out in the villages. Then he would bring his tins of pills. We need some Lasix, we need some Aldamate, we need some Indero. He knew that when we get there, we'll find non-EMF mamas who have hypertension and joint pains. So he knew that even if we're doing our study, we had to serve. And true, we would do the echoes, then we'd start taking blood pressures and dishing out Indoseed and so on. So please remember to serve. And then service. Don't forget ourselves. Sometimes I wonder, one day, do we need a gym where we should go every day whenever I have time and go into the gym? Because many of us realize that we forget ourselves. What about a Well Healthcare Provider Club? Do we need that? Nakanjako, you have done the mentorship club. Someone else will start the Well Health Club. Sometimes I decide that I need to have a pap smear, and I don't know where to go. That's the truth. At one time, people didn't know where to go for various tests. So sometimes we have to remember to serve ourselves, and that's another area. Then training others. All of us are trainers. All of us can train others. I remember there used to be a child program where children in P5 will train children in P2 and so on. But we also need a program where we train others. If you think you are moving fairly well in one direction, why don't you look at someone else whom you need to train? There's a formal training our students. Yes, that is required. Then there's the other training as well. So sometimes we should look at each other and look at how to train each other. Then there's research, a university requirement. A lot has been said about it. I won't go into research because there are various programs training people, grants writing, and etc. And as people progress, it's good to have a research niche and say that, you know, my area of interest, as my colleague was telling me, her area of interest is adolescent mental health. And when she said that, I thought about all the problems of adolescence and mental health. And I said, have a lot of business, because out there, I was being told one of the supposed to be good schools is a drug hub in the country, and so on. So there are a lot of issues. Some adolescents have a problem. I mean, there are too many issues. There are too many pressures on them. Then there's mentorship. Mentorship is interesting. I think the other day we were looking at the list of examiners, and one department had even put their list of mentors. We all talk about mentorship, but the question, who cares? Who recognizes mentorship? Makere, Mr. Kiro, where are you? Has he gone? I thought he was here. When you want to be promoted, where do I put mentorship? How does mentorship help me in the promotion track? If I've mentored 10 people, will I get promoted faster than the one who has mentored one? That's a question that is asked. That mentorship is like parenthood. It's unpaid. Okay, all you do is the work, changing the nappies and so on, but no one pays you. No one recognizes it. But should we stop? And the answer is no. Mentorship has its gratification. It's like reviewing manuscripts. When you review manuscripts, who cares? You may review as many manuscripts, you may be on all the editors' lists as a reviewer, but who cares? At the end, people do care. People do notice. Your mentees do notice. Like my baby girl, where is she? As she was talking, my eyes were tearing. I said, where is Agnes? I said, my baby has grown. I met that baby when she was a medical student. Were you a student when you did that research for me? And that's when she started. After the research, I can't even remember what the research was on. I went on to continue my work. One day she came to me and said, you know, we did this work for you, never even gave us a feedback. You didn't even tell us how it came out. And that's when I started my trail with my baby girl. Now I'm proud that she has grown into a responsible woman, and she's still growing. I'm proud of you, Agnes. And so mentorship, mentor and be mentored. Kwizera, you're still one of my baby boys, and I'm still waiting for more from you, so don't smile. Mentor and be mentored, and that is important. And people have talked about mentorship, but to me, mentorship is ad hoc. It can be planned, organized, but to me, it works better. Ad hoc. I still have you, Aria, and one of the people always smiles when I'm asking him things. So mentor others and be mentored. Everybody needs a mentor. Everybody should be a mentor. And why do we mentor each other? So that we all grow and move at the same time. Then there's leadership. People should be leaders. When you ask in a class, who will be the class monitor? Okay, someone has to lead them. When you go to your student group, I want one of you to be the leader. You want, and I've noted, people who agree to be leaders at a lower level do better later on than people who live in their own little cocoon. We have a group. We ask people who will take minutes. Everybody says no. And that's a sign of leadership. So anything you do for others, it's leadership. And leadership is a service. I used to see, because what is his name? His former principal. That is his name. I used to see former principal. When he was in Dean's office, that light was on up to midnight. Anyway, I never used to live at midnight, but you live at 9, that light is on. And he used to say, when does former principal do other things? Now when he moved to a newer office, the light was hidden, but in Dean's office, that light used to take longer going off. So leadership is really a service to others. Then, as you move along your career path, look at the balance. Look at the balance. I used to tell the women in internal medicine, the AMEDs, I expect all of you at the end of 3 years to have at least 1 degree and at least 1 child. My argument is that women finish AMED when they're about 30. By that time, each one should have at least 1 child. Weddings, they could invite me if they wanted to, but they didn't have to invite me. But I think it was important because afterwards, if they then looked back and said, but I've spent all my time in books, what about other activities? And I used to enjoy the SMSs when they say, it's a girl, it's a boy. I never used to visit people who had normal deliveries because if they are okay, why go to see them? I only visited the few who had problems, and these were luckily few. I remember 3 in medicine. So we need to balance it as well. The boys, I assume they can look after themselves. It's the girls I had to look after. Sometimes sit back and evaluate your life. Yes, you may make a plan, but evaluate. Have I moved the way I want to move? Have I moved in the right direction? Am I enjoying my life? People should enjoy their lives. The good thing about College of Health Sciences, there's no dull moment. People say, oh, Monday is boring. To me, I find Friday hard because I realize I haven't done everything I need to do. Then I make a mistake of packing things in my bag to do over the weekend. Of course, I know I won't do them, but still I pack them, hoping that I'll get time to do them. On Monday, I carry them again and take them back to work, and know I've not done what I should do. So evaluate your life and enjoy your life. If you're in the college and not enjoying your life, then you need to talk to a counselor or a mentor. Enjoy your life. It's hard, and sometimes you complain. Then I say, but sitting home, my father in his 80s used to sit home and said, always come and visit me, always bring my bachelor and my the grandsons, so that they visit me. His dream was to be visited. That's all he wanted. Even if you bring nothing, just come. And when we came, the children would run around and scream and say, oh, let them play. You're also like that. And I said, Daddy, I was better than them. At least I didn't play so hard. And I said, that's what you think. And always remember that in life, you don't put it in one gear, and you don't drive in one direction. It's okay to change gears. It's okay to change directions. Evaluate your life as long as you are moving and enjoying yourself. People sometimes say, at least on some hills, that they have this policy of pull him down or pull her down. That policy comes if you haven't mentored others. If you have mentored others and they are moving, their success is your success. When you see one of your mentees succeeding, that is your success. When I see Nakubura, who ended up in discipline, succeeding, I see that success as mine, because one time I used to see her as a physician, as an intern, but I'm happy where she is. And I talked about mentorship, in that a child in one primary school mentors the upper one in secondary. So mentorship, everybody mentors the others. Then people should learn to consult. People should learn to consult. Consult your families. Consult your family. Consult your friends. Talk to your friends. Consult your peers. Consult your mentors. Sometimes consult your seniors. Even consult your juniors. Sometimes your juniors may consult and say, you are doing well. I asked them one time, how am I doing in lecturing them? And I told them, don't tell me the good points. I know the good ones. Tell me the weak ones. And they all say one thing: you talk too much. And they have said it repeatedly, that when we give a lecture, I agree that students should take the lead. They have their PowerPoint presentations. Then I tend to talk too much. And I say, sorry, that is one of my faults. I'll talk less. And they say, it's okay, but you talk too much. And that has always been my students' evaluation of me. In life, there are many issues to consider. There's intuition. Some people call it luck. Some people call it faith. Some people call it prayers. Because sometimes you don't know where you are going. When I started my research career, I started, by the way, in diabetes. Did a little diabetes, went to malaria, did a little malaria, went into EMF, went into HIV, went into TB. Because sometimes one doesn't know where they are going. So it is okay to change gears, and it's okay to reevaluate and look back. Then communicate. People should learn to communicate. And by communication, I don't mean the way to talk. But when you go to meetings, and recently I met a gentleman, Tom Ottenhoff, whom I've been attending meetings with since the early 90s. He sits there, I sit here, we had to talk to each other. Till last year. Last year I went to a meeting, he came to me and said, do you know, we've been attending meetings together for a long time, I've never talked to you. The mistake we make, we always sit with the people we know. Norway sits here, Nigeria sits there, Uganda sits there. But now I realize we should talk to other people. And when he talked to me, he was a nice person. To me, he was aloof, and a bit arrogant, but I realized that I had misclassified him. So learn to communicate. When you go to a new place, get your guts and say, I'm going to talk to the Reverend. I don't know him. Sometimes he may look tough, but when you talk to a person, you realize you have something in common. He's smiling, you're smiling, and before you know it, you're enjoying their conversation. Many people find it hard to talk to people they don't know, but train yourself. God, when I go to this meeting, I pray that number one, I'll make a comment in that meeting, any comment. By the way, in a meeting, international meeting, any comment is better than keeping silent. You may think what you're saying is nonsense, but people will come to you at tea time and say, oh, by the way, that comment you made was interesting. Everybody has something to contribute. Talk to people you have never met. It's hard, but do try it. And then, lastly, what is success? Success, as I said, is the people who come to you weeks later, years later, days later, and talk to you and say, by the way, I liked what you did. Success are the people you have influenced. If you have influenced no one, doesn't matter whether you have 1 million publications, you are not successful. Success are the people whose lives you have touched. Now I'll do what I was asked to do, to talk about what had been said. Professor Kamia talked to us about the need for mentorship. Professor Tumwine, I find him interesting. He is an experienced researcher. He's one of the people who's the most proliferate grant writer here. But whenever he stands up to talk, he doesn't talk about grants and no rate and CEDAW and so on. He talks about patients. He talks about patients, and very passionately about patients. Here he is. Where he is, he should have been beyond patients. It's too big for that. But for him, he talks about patients. And starting with that little baby who was being born. I mean, he's a pediatrician, but still, his interest has always been patients. And if you see him talk about patients, he gets passionate and gets, not worked up, but worked up kind of. So, remember that the patients. Dama Kanjako talked to us about mentorship, and what I have liked about her, she has gone beyond her department and gone to other departments, helping others to publish and helping others to mentor. So one day, when she's gone, there will be a trail, and that will stay there for years. And I thank you for that, for not only thinking about yourself, but other people. One time I went to her and said, Nakanjako, to me the problem, you are running very fast, good, but you're leaving everybody behind. She said, I'm not. I said, the way I see you, you are. Now I agree. You are running with everybody. And I like that. Agnes Wabula, I've talked about her. And it's a department which has realized they need to grow, but also they have realized they need to serve the rest of the country. And they are aware. Isabella is one of the people who's running around all hospitals, looking at anesthesia in obstetric systems and trying to see how they can improve on it. So service is beyond what you are doing. Things which Makerere doesn't notice. But we continue. Do what Makerere wants, that's limited, but the majority, Makerere doesn't notice. Obs and Gain, naturally, I've watched her, and I said, either everybody who comes to the medical school is intelligent, or everybody who comes to the College of Health Sciences is intelligent, or everybody is intelligent. So I like the direction you are moving, and we are watching you because we expect a lot more from you. Not you as a person, you as a leader, and you as a person who's going to move. And as she has said, many people don't have the information. Mr. Okro, you think we know? No, we don't. That intranet, I can't find things there. If you find them, help us. So in conclusion, we are here because our strength is like teeth. That is the last conclusion. One tooth won't bite meat. But if you put your teeth together, even if the meat is not really cooked, you'll still eat it. So let's move together. As we bite, we'll be able to move as a college and continue being the leader and shine not only at Makerere, in the country, but also globally. Thank you very much.